Hey, what is up, guys? Zone here. So today, it's been a while since I uploaded a One Punch Man video, and there's one video that caught my interest, and I think I should be sharing to you guys. And this is what I've done as a casual or a free-to-play player on how I survived One Punch Man the strongest, because we know that it's either in this game, it's either you become very lucky or you spend so that you become that strong. So this is what I did to survive right now, and I think that I should also share these things to you. Some of them are obvious, and sometimes the most obvious things are not the things that you actually do, but I'm gonna share it anyways. So let's just get into the video.
いい加減にしてください。
So number one, so the very first thing that you want to know if you actually want to be able to cope up in the game right now is learn how to manage your gems. Especially if you're free to play, you have limited resources, you want to save as much gems as you can, especially that you want to draw on black tickets, get keepsake events. You should be able to constrain yourself or restrain yourself from overspending your gems. So how do you actually spend your gems? So in my opinion, if you're less than level 70, you could spend at max 200 gems per day so that you gain 400 per day. Just use that for stamina and vitality and such so that you could do your grinds. And then if you're in that higher level, I think you could range from 50 to 100. Just buy the 2 stamina and then the vitality, and I think that should be fine. You should gain more gems every day so that you could spend a lot more so that you don't face too much problems when there are events that are coming up. And don't actually spend those gems too much on pulls right now, because I think you could be lucky enough if you're just gonna wait for the bulls. So no need to spend too much on getting those great units. So learn how to manage your gems properly so that you'd be able to sustain yourself in the game. So next up is grind your arena. So I think this is really obvious and everyone wants to grind their arena, but you actually just want to grind your arena until you're at diamond ranks, because in diamond ranks you already get around 200 gems at max, and I think there's not much difference on what ranking. Once you grind the diamonds, you don't actually need to do too much. You just want to grind your rank on arena so that you gain more gems. And as a free to play, this gems is gonna be something that you really need in the long run, especially if you plan to play the game in for the long run instead of playing it casually. So I think if you actually want to survive right now, you may want to grind that arena so that you don't face too much problems in the long run, so that you could maximize these gems that you could get every day. So next up, let's talk about something that you need socially, and that is to join an active club. I think this is now necessary if you want to grind, because most good gears could be obtained through club challenges and such, so that if even though you're trying to limit yourself on spending gems, you still have this chance to get good items. And you might want to go for an active club. It doesn't have to be a strong club necessarily, but you want to go to an active club that you could get the club rewards and then you could finish off bosses at your own pace. So I think this is really, really good. So much better if you go for a top club. That's going to be really good for your gear system. And I think there's one thing you should really do so that you could survive as a free to play, because there's not much um, a solo player can do without joining any guild or any club in this game. So might as well join one so that you don't find any much problems or you don't go behind most of the players, because I think this is one of the most necessary things right now, especially if you're just going free to play. So next up, this is a more advanced tip for you guys. And I think this is once you unlock the talent system, you might want to invest on talents more than you invest on gears. I think the bonuses that you get from talents is going to be so much better than what you get in gears in the long run. Because I think you could get good gears in the shop and such, but you don't get talents that way. So I think you might want to invest your talents, especially the main units you're gonna use. So I think the best course of action so that you go for talents is that you choose that one unit that you really want first and then upgrade his talents very well, and then that's when you unlock the second one. So you should actually do some research on how you could actually manage your talents and how to do this talent trees, because I think this is one of the best things you could actually do, and it's actually one of the things you should really look for, especially if you're going for a longer stretch in the game. I think learning talents and investing on talents is going to pay off in the long run, because you might want them and they're going to be big difference changers as you progress in the game. So I think you should learn how to invest your talent so that you don't find yourself any problems as you play the game. So next up is that you need to learn when you should what is the unit's synergies, what is the unit's preferred gear sets. I think you could actually do that. I'm doing that right now on my channel. I'm still trying to publish this content about that. You could check them out. Right now I just have Alloy, but I'm gonna be posting more heroes to guide you. Uh, so you might want to know what synergies work with what, so that if you ever try to grind stuff, you could find the best possible synergy. Because I'm gonna tell you one secret in the game, and synergy always beats BP. BP is just as good, but when you have a really synergized unit as well as a high BP, I think that's a really, really good combo. And you should actually do some research on doing this. You should actually read what things happen in the game, so that you don't, oh, you get as much knowledge as you can, so that you can become very flexible on what you want to do in your gameplay, so that you don't pose much problem in the long run. So I think this is very necessary to be free to play, that you become very knowledgeable about the game, so that you know what to invest on, what not to, since you have limited resources and such. You might want to maximize what you would be able to use in the long run. Next is don't overcommit on units that you will not use, or in short, just choose the units who you're gonna invest on. So I think this one's really good, because you might want that, especially if you're starting the game, you might want that one unit that could actually carry you the game and invest on him. This is so much better if you have a Golden Ball or a Tatsumaki or an Atomic Samurai or Fubuki at least, to actually carry you on doing this stuff. I think this is going to be really good. You should actually be able to invest on units that you need, and then not invest on the units you're going to replace, because it's going to be a waste of reversion card if you're going to be overcommitting on units you're not even going to use. Especially, think of this, for example. You were overcommitting on your Genos, and then suddenly you draw a Child Emperor. But your Genos now is already 4 stars and has a lot of keepsake upgrades, and you might as well made his keepsake 3 stars. But you see this problem because most of the people are running Deep Seeking cores or Child Emperor cores. Now you want to have that Child Emperor. And then you're gonna think to yourself, is it worth it? And yet, yes, it will be, but you're gonna be you wasted a lot of resource on that unit and a lot of stuff on that unit. Even though we say that we could reverse that unit, the investment on that unit is not gonna be coming back 100% back to you with a reversion card. So might as well learn to who to commit to and who not to commit hard on, so that in the long run you don't find any problems on doing such, so that if you're ever gonna replace things with black tickets, you're not gonna have much problem in doing so. So next up is a more technical thing. As a free to play, you should learn how to ask and do your research. I think a lot of people has been able to disclose information about how Chinese server works. So I'm gonna tell you one thing straight. Uh, do not compare the global server to the Chinese server too much. Use the Chinese server as reference on what might happen, because the game could actually change things up for the global server, because they are very different servers. So you might as well just get research information that you would be able to use, but don't expect things to be mirrored exactly like the Chinese server. Do your research, find out who are the good black tickets units. Are there gonna be events where there's gonna be keepsake events, rate up events, and all of such, so that you're knowledgeable and you could prepare well for those things that you want to um, have, to be able to stand a chance against people who actually pay for the game, or other players who don't pay for the game. And I think this is one of the most reliable things you could have, and that is knowledge. And I think you should actually be knowledgeable, so that you would be able to play the game in a more well-mannered style. So lastly, I'm gonna tell one secret, so that you don't actually feel bad about playing the game. And the last tip is about play at your own pace. You're free to play, face that. Or you're casual, face that. Uh, you don't have that much resources, or you're not as privileged as other people who could actually spend for a game. So play at your own pace. No need to feel envious or anything about these people who actually have this. Don't feel jealous about what they have, and don't try to mirror what they have to what you will have. Because if you actually do that, you're actually making yourself prone to you're gonna lose interest in the game. You will not have enough time to grind and such. So just play at your own pace. I think slow and steady is gonna make you feel better. For me, I've been a free-to-play player for most parts, but recently I became a casual player because I wanted to maximize gems. So I now spend for association backups and such. And I'm just telling you this because I want to be open to my viewers that I'm not 100% free to play right now, and I spend for association backup only, so that I could maximize that 100 gems per week, every time. So I think this is one thing you should actually know. You should just play at your own pace. Don't feel envious if your BP is too low. Uh, you're gonna improve your BP through gears and a lot of such, and no need to compare. I think you should be fine on just keep doing what you're doing, slow and steady, and you're gonna be able to catch up with the game later on. So that is it, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel right now. And hit that notification bell so that you get updated whenever I upload new One Punch Man content. And I hope you like this video, because this is what I've done so far. And as you can see, I'm around 1.2 million right now. I know a lot of people is gonna be boasting that they could actually reach more than I have, but I became very indecisive, and I'm not very lucky with my pools in my early stages, so that I had to pivot every time I need to swap out my team. That's why I only have this much BP. But right now, I think the synergy of my team is quite fine. So for those people who's casual, free to play, pay to win, and such, just enjoy the game. No need to compare. And that is it, guys. Peace out.
いい加減にしてください。